Hey guys, Hans Wormhat here. So this will be primarily what this channel will be focusing on. I've just been reading the Bible recently, and I don't really have that many people to talk about it with. So I figure I can make these videos, and if people want to talk to me about this stuff, I'd love it. And if you guys can point me at other stuff, if you want, if there's certain chapters or certain verses that you want to see discussion on, that'd be great. I just want to make it clear that I don't want this to be any sort of, I believe that everyone should be able to have their own opinion. If somebody writes an opinion down in the comments and you think it's just like not so crazy, just ignore it. I just want to make it clear that this isn't a place to have arguments. Like, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and all I'm going to do in these videos is I'll read excerpts from the Bible and and then if you just want to discuss, that's fine. I'll at the end I'll say, okay, here's what I think, and I'll just wait to see what you guys think, and yeah, we'll just discuss it together. So I think a fitting thing for the first video is, of course, Genesis. So I just want to preface this with I'm just reading this. I'm just going to read it. I'm not like preparing it or anything like that. So if I say a word incorrectly or if I like accidentally throw in a certain word that I'm just reading this, so it's possible that I might make a mistake or something. Don't go crazy. I'm not like I'm just reading this, and so if I stumble over a word or something like that, you'll just have to excuse me. Okay. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself, upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply on the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Okay, so that's just the end of the reading, and now I'll just make a few points, and that'll be the end of the video. And I hope to hear some comments about what you guys think about Genesis 1. So here are just some things that I take from this. Again, I've just started researching the Bible myself. I grew up without the Bible, without God, without any of this stuff. So I definitely don't claim to be an expert. And, I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. So I'd love discussion, just keep everything respectful. And yeah, that's it. So some things that I take from the scripture are, okay, so heaven and earth were created first, and there was darkness. And then God moved upon the face of the waters. So there was just water. And so that's interesting that water is just already there. I've heard some interesting theories about like water. What is water? Some people think that water, or some like I've heard before that water is like consciousness somehow. I don't know. So do we even know what water is? It's kind of an interesting thing. And just something about a face. So to me, a face is flat. Like I think that the water was just flat. Like we know that water always finds its level. So at least in this part of the creation, to me, what I just kind of imagine is just like water. Just if you think of open ocean and you just see water in every direction, but perfectly still and just flat and dark. So I don't know that you could even see anything. It would just be pitch black and there would just be flat water. I mean, that's just a guess. Obviously, we don't know. And obviously, these things have to be put into human terms that we can kind of understand. So that's just what I get from there. And then God created light. And, everyone knows that. Let there be light and all that stuff. There's no sun yet. God created light before the sun. So there's light even without the sun. And I think that even shows us like how the light, if you go outside and you look at the way, doesn't it look like the sky is lit up of its own? I don't think that the sun is what lights up the sky, or just based off my own personal observations of being a human. It doesn't seem right, right? If the sun was the only thing lighting up anything, wouldn't wouldn't it be pitch black if you looked in like the opposite direction of, just imagine being in a pitch black room and then having like a light source. It doesn't like, I don't know. Um, Especially with something, at least I personally believe that the sun is much smaller than NASA says and much closer than NASA says. That's just common sense if you just pay attention to the sun and the way it all works. Um, so to me, the way that the sky is lit up, and I think that scripture supports it, the way that sky is lit up during the day, it's not caused by the sun. Light is its own thing. And this, okay, so that's enough for that thing, I think. And, he divided the day from the night. So there's dark place, and then there's place that's lit up. And then the firmament was created. God calls the firmament heaven. Okay. And then dry land, earth, and the seas by separating. I think this is just like another separation thing. Created the earth, like the land, and then gathered the seas together. It's not like the water was covering the land and everything's mixed up in a big, the earth is its own stuff, and then the seas are separate from that. So I think that's what's going on there. And then God created grass, herb yielding seed, fruit trees. There's still no sun. How there? So these trees are yielding fruit, and this grass is growing, and you still don't even need a sun, right? So that's kind of an interesting thing that all of these things were created before the sun, and then lights in the firmament, but there's still no mention of the sun and the moon, and also after the lights are created in the firmament, it talks about the stars. So maybe you guys can let me know what's going on here. Are the lights in the firmament? It seems like that might be even separate from what the stars are. I'm not I'm not quite sure. But then finally, so here God created the sun and the moon. I mean, he's already created plants. Grass and fruit trees have already been created. And then later he created the sun and the moon and also made the stars. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. And then God created ocean creatures and air creatures first. And then it talks about cattle, creeping thing. I'm guessing creeping things is just like spiders and right, just all the little creepy crawlies, lizards, beasts of the earth. So ocean stuff first, and then things in the air, and then land animals, and then man. So it's like it seems like God created this place for us, gave us land, gave us stuff growing on the land, gave us creepy crawlies and ocean stuff, and it just filled this place with stuff for us. Because if there wasn't anything, it would just be, you know, um, he wanted us to have this stuff, and he created all of it first before he created man. And it says God created man in his own image. So I don't know how you want to interpret that. Like does so to me, I don't, some people interpret that as like God must look like us. I don't know that God even looks like anything. That makes sense. So maybe by creating his own image just means that God had a vision for how, like, what he wanted his people to look like, humans, and he made us that way. I'm not entirely sure how to interpret that. Like, so your opinion on that would be good. And God created both male and female. Maybe I'll do a video on the story of Adam and Eve or something like that. But I'm guessing that's what it's talking about here, that God made both of us, man and woman. And then God gave us dominion over the fish, the fowl, and every living thing that moveth. And here you're going to start to get into some hot topics. So this is good, but just remember, try to keep stuff respectful. Because what does that mean to have dominion over these things? Since if God gave us dominion over the fish, I mean, obviously he doesn't want us like overfishing them all and killing them all, and then some people might even say that dominion over these things doesn't mean that we should hurt them, right? It means that we should take care of them and let them do their own thing. So I'm not sure how you want to interpret all this stuff, and that's where this stuff kind of becomes a little more personal. And I'll just go out and say that I personally don't think that it's like a sin to kill a fish and eat it. I personally think that God kind of intended for us to do stuff like that, to have those experiences. But I agree 100% that all of the way that we do these things these days is completely satanic. We overfish and we do it in destructive ways. Trawling. We're probably not supposed to drag huge nets through the ocean, scraping up the bottom, right? We're probably not supposed to have giant factory farms, and um, we're probably meant to, if we are supposed to eat fish and birds and creepy crawlies and things like that, we're probably supposed to be a lot more respectful about it. Um, so this is up for interpretation. And especially I could see arguments for vegetarianism and things down at this part of Genesis where it says, "For man, the herbs and the fruit trees shall be for meat." So, but how do you interpret that? Is that kind of like maybe that means that we're supposed to use the herbs and the stuff in order to grow our own meat? Or does that mean that we're not supposed to eat meat because we have herbs and the fruit trees and that to us should be enough sustenance? So I think that's also up for interpretation, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on it. Because then down here it says for beast and fowl and creepy crawlies, green herb should be for meat. So what do you guys think about carnivores and stuff like that? Are they unnatural? I've honestly heard people say before that all of the animals that we see these days are completely satanic and like created and not normal. So, maybe lions weren't really supposed to be here. I don't know. Um, I don't know how we're supposed to interpret these. And at the end, it was very good. So, and that's one of these things, and it's kind of hard because the world that we find ourselves in is completely satanic. But at the same time, I do really appreciate everything. You go outside, you look at a tree, it's beautiful. You look at the earth, it's beautiful. So all of this stuff is really good. It's just where we find ourselves today, society and things like that is what's disgusting, not this place. So we'll just end the video by looking at just some of the creator, God's creation. So I will say now that I will just read King James, or let me know if you think that there's other versions that I should look into. I'm open to all sorts of things, so just let me know. Um, if I do say the creator, I mean it's just so me personally, I don't know that like what we call the creator is necessarily important. One topic that we can get into is has the Bible been compromised in any way, shape, or form? And are things like the creator's name important? These are questions that I'm asking myself every day. I don't know. I don't know the answer. So I'm trying to figure it out. But let's just end this video by looking at some of the creator's creation. And this is a good one, the Grand Canyon, because I think most of people that are here watching this probably agree with me when I say that there's no way that this was created by a little river. This is a flood event. Look at that horizontal, flat uh, um, horizon there. I mean, horizontal, it's flat and just beautiful, breathtaking. You can feel the power of the creator here. Just breathtaking. Got some creepy crawlies. Just what a fascinating creature. So when you think that it's all about like fruit bearing trees of its kind, animal of its kind, do you guys think that it's just referencing of a lemon tree creates lemons, and then if you plant the seeds of a lemon tree, you're gonna get a lemon tree out of it? I think that that's what it's saying. If you take two cows and they make a baby, it's gonna be a cow. That's just how I personally interpret that. This is potentially a controversial herb. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I do partake in this one. I don't drink alcohol anymore, but some beautiful sequoia trees. All right, well, I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, that's it.